Close your eyes for just a moment. Feel the weight of your body where you sit. Notice the air moving gently in and out of your lungs. Right now, in this very breath, you are alive. And yet, even as you hear these words, this moment is already becoming memory. Everything you touch, everything you love, everything you fear, it is all moving, shifting, dissolving into the next moment like mist in morning light. This is not something to fear. This is the most liberating truth you will ever know. We live in a world that teaches us to hold on, to grasp, to preserve, to keep things exactly as they are. We cling to youth, to success, to relationships, to the way things used to be. We build walls around our hearts, hoping that if we just hold tight enough, nothing will slip through our fingers. But here is the quiet truth that Zen whispers to us across centuries. The tighter we hold, the more we suffer. Because everything, without exception, is impermanent. And within that impermanence lies a kind of freedom so profound that once you taste it, you will never see the world the same way again. Today, we are going to sit together in this truth. Not to understand it with your mind, but to feel it in your bones. To breathe with it. To let it move through you like wind through an open window. This is not a lesson. This is an invitation. An invitation to release the exhausting work of resisting life, and instead, to flow with it. To dance with change rather than fight it. To find the still, quiet center inside you that remains untouched, even as everything around you transforms. Take a slow breath now. Let your shoulders drop. Soften your jaw. You do not need to be anywhere else. You do not need to fix anything. For the next few moments, you are here. Fully here. And that is enough. In Zen practice, there is a teaching called anicca, impermanence. It is one of the three marks of existence, a fundamental truth that the Buddha pointed to again and again. Everything that arises will also pass away. Every joy, every sorrow, every thought, every sensation. The seasons change, the body ages, relationships evolve. Nothing stays frozen in time, and yet our minds constantly rebel against this truth. We want permanence in a universe made entirely of movement. We want stillness in a river that never stops flowing. But impermanence is not the enemy. Impermanence is the very texture of life itself. Without it, there would be no growth, no healing, no new beginnings. The flower blooms because the bud was willing to open. The butterfly emerges because the caterpillar was willing to dissolve. You are who you are today because you were willing, consciously or not, to let go of who you were yesterday. Change is not happening to you. Change is you. You are a living, breathing expression of the universe in motion. When we resist impermanence, we create suffering. The Buddha called this dukkha, a kind of persistent dissatisfaction, a friction between what is and what we wish would be. We suffer not because things change, but because we believe they shouldn't. We grieve the past. We fear the future. We forget that this present moment, right here, right now, is the only moment we ever truly have. And it is already perfect, already complete, because it is real. Let me tell you a story. There was once a Zen master who lived in a small temple at the edge of a forest. One autumn, a young student came to him in tears. The student had just lost someone they loved deeply, and the pain felt unbearable. "Master," the student said, "how can I go on when everything I care about eventually disappears? What is the point of loving if loss is inevitable?" The master said nothing at first. He simply walked to the window and pointed outside. There, in the courtyard, a single maple tree stood ablaze with red and gold leaves. The master asked, "Do you see that tree?" The student nodded. "Is it not beautiful?" the master continued. The student whispered, "Yes, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." The master smiled softly. "And soon every one of those leaves will fall. The branches will be bare. The winter will come. Does that make the tree any less beautiful right now? The student was silent. The master continued, the beauty is not in spite of the falling. The beauty is because of it. If the leaves never fell, there would be no spring, no renewal, no rebirth. The tree teaches us that letting go is not an ending. It is the way forward. The student stood there for a long time watching the leaves tremble in the wind, and slowly something inside them began to shift. They realized that their grief was not wrong. It was love, and love, by its very nature, includes loss. To love is to know that one day you will have to let go. But that does not make love any less sacred. It makes it more precious. Because it is fleeting, it matters. Because it will not last forever, every moment becomes holy. This is the heart of embracing impermanence. It is not about becoming cold or detached. It is not about pretending that loss doesn't hurt. It is about opening your heart so wide that you can hold both the beauty and the sorrow at the same time. It is about saying yes to life, even when life says goodbye. It is about trusting that even in the midst of change, there is something in you that remains steady, calm, and whole. Take another breath. Feel your chest rise and fall. Notice how even your breath is impermanent. You cannot hold it forever. You must let it go so that the next breath can come. This is wisdom written into your very biology. Inhale, exhale, receive, release. This is the rhythm of existence. This is how life moves through you. Now let's bring this teaching into your daily life. How do you practically embrace impermanence? How do you live with this truth without becoming overwhelmed or numb? It begins with small moments of awareness. When you drink your morning tea, notice that the warmth will fade. And because it will fade, you savor it. You feel the heat against your palms. You let the steam rise and touch your face. You are present with it, fully, because you know it will not last. And that is what makes it beautiful. When you spend time with someone you love, you do not take them for granted. You do not assume they will always be there in exactly the same way. You listen more deeply. You speak more kindly. You hold their hand a little longer. Not because you are afraid of losing them, but because you understand the gift of this moment. Impermanence does not diminish love. It deepens it. It reminds us that every encounter is precious. Every word matters. Every shared silence is sacred. When you experience pain, whether it is physical, emotional, or spiritual, you remember that this too is impermanent. The ache in your body will shift. The sadness in your heart will soften. The storm in your mind will pass. You do not need to rush it. You do not need to fix it. You simply allow it to move through you like weather. You give it space. You breathe with it. And eventually, it changes. Because everything changes. That is the law of the universe. And it applies to your suffering just as much as it applies to everything else. Here is a practice you can do right now. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Bring your attention to your breath. Do not change it. Just observe it. Notice the subtle pause at the top of the inhale. Notice the gentle release at the end of the exhale. Each breath is born and dies in the span of seconds. You are witnessing impermanence in real time. Now expand your awareness. Notice the sounds around you. A car passing, a bird singing, the hum of the refrigerator. Each sound arises, exists for a moment, and then fades into silence. Nothing lingers. Everything is constantly appearing and disappearing. Can you simply allow this? Can you let sounds come and go without chasing them or pushing them away? Next, notice your thoughts. Watch them arise in your mind like clouds forming in an empty sky. One thought appears, then another, and another. And if you do not grab onto them, if you do not follow them down long corridors of worry or fantasy, they simply dissolve. Thoughts are impermanent. Emotions are impermanent. Sensations are impermanent. Even your sense of self is constantly shifting, evolving, recreating itself moment by moment. You are not the same person you were a year ago, a month ago, or even a minute ago. And that is okay. That is natural. That is life. As you sit with this awareness, something miraculous begins to happen. You start to feel lighter, because when you stop clinging to things, when you stop demanding that life stay frozen in place, a huge burden lifts from your shoulders. You realize you do not need to control everything. You do not need to hold it all together. You can trust the process. You can surrender to the flow. And in that surrender, you find a peace that does not depend on circumstances. A peace that is always available, always present, no matter what is changing around you. This is what the Zen masters call beginner's mind. It is the ability to meet each moment fresh, open, curious, without the weight of past expectations or future anxieties. It is seeing the world as if for the first time, again and again. The sunrise is never the same. The taste of an apple is never identical. Every conversation is new. Every breath is a beginning. When you embrace impermanence, you step out of the prison of repetition and into the aliveness of the present moment. And here is the most beautiful paradox of all. When you stop trying to make things permanent, you actually experience them more fully. When you stop hoarding moments, you start living them. When you stop fearing loss, you start appreciating presence. The Zen way is not about escaping life. It is about entering it so completely that you become one with it. You stop being a separate observer, standing on the shore, afraid to get wet. You dive in. You let the river carry you. You become the river. Take another slow breath. Feel your body softening. Feel your mind quieting. There is no urgency here, no agenda, no destination. You are simply here, breathing, being, existing in this tender, fleeting, miraculous moment. And that is all you ever need to do. As we come toward the end of our time together, I want to offer you one final reflection. Impermanence is not something to master. It is something to befriend. It is a companion that walks with you every day of your life, whispering the truth that nothing is guaranteed, and therefore everything is a gift. The people you love are gifts. Your health is a gift. This breath is a gift. And because they are gifts, we do not take them for granted. We do not waste them. We honor them by being fully present, fully alive, fully awake. So when the hard times come, and they will come, remember this teaching. Remember that storms pass, seasons change, pain transforms, and you, at your core, are not defined by what is happening to you. You are the awareness that holds it all. You are the sky, not the weather. And the sky is never damaged by the clouds that pass through it. And when the good times come, and they will come, remember this teaching too. Do not cling. Do not desperately try to freeze joy in place. Instead, let yourself feel it completely, fully, without holding back. Laugh until your belly aches. Cry tears of gratitude. Dance in the rain. Love with your whole heart. And when the moment passes, as all moments do, let it go with grace. Trust that more beauty is coming. Trust that life is generous. Trust that you are held always by something larger than yourself. This is the Zen way. This is the path of peace. Not a peace that depends on perfect conditions, but a peace that lives in the heart of all conditions. A peace that says yes to life as it is, not as we wish it would be. A peace that knows, deeply and quietly, that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. So as you go back into your day, carry this with you. Let it color the way you see the world. Let it soften the edges of your worries. Let it remind you that you are not separate from life. You are life, experiencing itself, one breath at a time. And that is more than enough. That is everything. Take one more deep breath. Let it fill you completely. And as you exhale, let go of anything you no longer need. any tension, any fear, any resistance. Just let it go. Thank you for sitting with me today. Thank you for your openness, your willingness, your beautiful impermanent presence. May you walk gently through this changing world. May you find stillness in the midst of motion. May you love deeply, release gracefully, and remember always that this moment, right here, right now, is all you truly have. And it is enough. Today, may you find peace in simply being.